So what are some good things about being a court navigator?
One of the good things for me is the experience of working with people who may not necessarily know the process, and being that it's having to do with housing, it could be a stressful event. So it's gratifying to walk them through the process and then have a remedy that's satisfying to them.
I would say the best thing about being a court navigator is being able to talk to tenants and really help them figure out the process, the legal process, and the documentation. Most of the time, it just comes with reassuring them and letting them know that this is a long process and there are results in the end.
I would say the best thing about being a court navigator would be networking and assisting the tenants. Being from West Baltimore and understanding the whole concept of the bad landlords, the slum landlords, it helps to go down there and be able to explain the different concepts and also be able to assist those that are not familiar with the court process.
I would have to say the best thing about this program was to get to experience firsthand the court side of things up close and personal, and to see what the tenants go through and what they're up against, and them being able to step in and help them in a way that would not only benefit them but benefit the judicial process with escrow cases and rent cases in general.
All right, the best part about being a court navigator is you get to help the tenants with their problems. You get to help them, through the process. We get to learn a lot. We get to help them, so it's kind of, a win-win situation.
So my favorite thing about being a court navigator in the District Court of Baltimore City is actually being able to see the difference that you make within the individual people. When someone comes up to you crying their eyes out, and within 5 minutes you can help them smile, at least for a few seconds, I think your job is well done.
And what are some bad things about being a court navigator?
I guess one of the bad things is getting to know the people and having to see them go through a stressful situation, and sometimes that situation turns out to be bad. They get a judgment against them. So having the emotional roller coaster of going through those type of situations.
I would say the worst thing would be the judges, mostly because the judges, they're not the very nicest people. So when they decide cases, a lot of times they allow previous cases or other cases that they've dealt with to predetermine how they feel about a certain case. I've been told that a lot of tenants apparently try to not pay for rent, and that's why they file the case that we deal with, which is rent escrow. But since I'm on the other side, which is with the tenants, I'm just seeing a whole bunch of tenants who are living in horrible conditions and having to still pay rent. So I think the worst part is just the judges that allowing their decisions or their moods to change how they decide on a case.
The worst thing is not being able to assist everyone, and also when the information isn't clear, whether we have too little information or whether they just don't know it all.
I think the worst thing was not being able to help more because we're not attorneys.
The worst thing is having to walk up to random strangers, and because you really kind of have to be like a car salesman or something. You have to walk up and be like, "Hi, do you need help?" Occasionally, you get the people that stare at you and go, "No, why are you asking me? Leave me alone." But the majority of the time, people are really receptive to the help.
So the worst thing about being a court navigator is seeing basically the situations that these people are put in, to basically see how terrible human beings can be to another person. I think that's the worst thing, to see somebody live in a house where it's raining just as hard as it is outside on the inside and have their entire, life's work destroyed. That's probably the most terrible thing.